Good afternoon, collectors. Hope many of you are able to join us again for one of our Facebook Live presentations. In case you haven't visited with us before, I'm Melinda from Department 56, your Miss Littown, and I need glasses to do this. So we're welcome. Next Monday, of course, is here in the United States, we are celebrating Memorial Day. So in honor of the celebration, paying tribute to all those who have served our country, I'd like to salute our veterans and thank everyone for their service. So I drag out my red, white, and blue scarf for the occasion. Did you know that Memorial Day was only made a federal holiday in 1971, even though we've been celebrating it since the Civil War? And it traditionally has been celebrated more in the South than in the North. So I thought that was kind of an interesting tidbit. Now, a couple of things I'd like to just reiterate on from our last Facebook Live. Let me grab this. Last time I showed you this flag, and this flag will be part of our charity auction that we are putting together on eBay. We've got all the details being worked out, and they're almost ready to go. We have this huge flag, and I believe it's 72 inches by 144 inches, made out of really sturdy outdoor quality fabric with an embroidered logo of Department 56 on it, and it would fly over anyone's house or be the backdrop for your display. And we will be auctioning that off sometime in the beginning of June. If you are part of our email list, you will get an email with some more of the details for it, and I will have more information on it again the next time we meet. We are going to be giving 100% of the proceeds from this charity event to the Ronald McDonald House here in the Twin Cities. It's called the Upper Midwest Ronald McDonald House. They do such great work, and I'm sure many of you know about the work that the people at the Ronald McDonald House do. We in the past have done, we've set up displays. Many of our clubs do displays at different Ronald McDonald houses and children's hospitals around the United States. So if you ever have an opportunity to see any of these, let us know, take some pictures, send them in, and we do try to feature some of those on our Facebook page as well. So today we are going to talk a little bit more about Harry Potter. And as you can see here, I have the two main kind of centerpiece pieces for Harry Potter here on the desk, and they are lit. They're put together as they kind of nestle together. We have the two main pieces. I think one is called the Great Hall and the other is called the Astronomy Tower. And a couple of sessions ago, we showed you pictures for pictures of the drawings on how things get started. And these are some of the drawings that Paul Lundberg has done. There it is in black and white. And let's see if I can show you a couple of other, something else. Here's another one that shows another elevation of it. And let's try to find one that's in color here. The other thing that's really fun to look at is the views from the top. And I don't see that in this particular one. Here it shows when Paul has put the coloring in. Paul Lundberg is the artist who has done all of the Harry Potter pieces. And you can see the coloration on the finished product is very similar to the coloration that was used on the drawings. Now, when these drawings are finished, they are sent to our factories overseas where the pieces are sculpted, and then the initial molds are made. A sample copy would get molded and then sent back to us. We give it our final approval, and also the licensor gives it a final approving. So J.K. Rowling herself will give her blessing whether she likes it or not. Now, these pieces are done in resin, and you can see here how great the resin translates. It gets a lot of detail. The windows are really great. You can see the the lattice work in the windows. It really, really looks nice. And when I was thinking about doing this Harry Potter segment, I thought, well, gee, what do I know about the Harry Potter books? This year marks the 20th anniversary, and to date, there have been more than 500 million books sold throughout the world in 80 different languages, which I thought was pretty amazing. With 500 million books sold, it means that 1 in every 15 people around the world owns a Harry Potter book. Isn't that amazing? And I'm one of the 14 that don't own one.
My son owns them.
Does he? Yep. Nate said his son owns them. Have you read them to him yet?
We started.
You've started. He's at the age where he's probably very interested in that. So another bit of trivia that I saw was that total of the 7 books, there's 1.1 million words. And some were created personally by Rowling, things like Quidditch and Muggle. And when I was writing this down, I thought, well, that isn't very different from the way Dr. Seuss invented words to suit his writing. So if we're putting J.K. Rowling in the same classification as Dr. Seuss, I think that's pretty good company. So we've shown you this first one. Here's the second one. So now, when we did the first one, we knew we were going to try to do the second one, and you can see there's a little indentation here where the 2 pieces will kind of fit together so that they're in the proper perspective for each other. So we've got that one, and here is the new piece called the Astronomy Tower, and I think this has just a really cool window in the tower. Let's see, there we go, to show you the window in the tower. And again, I think the lighting is absolutely spectacular on this. The detail, you can see all the bricks on the piece. It's just really a wonderful piece. And let's see if I've got these pictures as well. Let's start with a black and white, because I think it's always kind of interesting to see. Here they put this together. Oh, this is a neat piece. This shows, let's see if I can get this. Can you see that? This shows what the sculptors need to look at from the top of the piece so that they can get the orientation, so that they can get the towers and the turrets all in the right spot. So we even do drawings of the top of the piece. The other one didn't have this in its packet. Here's a black and white. Shows, and Paul really does a nice job of getting all of the detail in there, because anything he wants on the final piece, he has to draw into the put it into the drawings so that the sculptors know exactly what they're working on. He does do these. He starts with a sketch. He works on the computer, and then he finalizes them on the computer with the coloring. So he can, if we decide a color is not right, it's much easier to take that gray color off and make the gray lighter or darker, or the tans on these pieces, so that it does speed up the process a little bit, because these guys really put together a lot of pieces during the course of the year. And let's see if I can find a picture of, here it is in the final coloration. Let's have it. There we go. Okay. So that's our those are the 2 main pieces for Harry Potter. Now, besides that, I have a couple of other things I wanted to share with you today. I'm just going to let these over on the side. They're too big to really move. I've got a couple of nice accessories that are new this year that I wanted to share with you. This first one is Drago at platform 9 3/4, which is really a nice piece. Let's put it over in front of my white jacket there. That'll show it a little better. Really detailed, including the little sign. This is made of metal, so it's nice and sturdy. His luggage, everything he'll need to take back to school. And then the other one I have goes with the new piece this year, we've got the Weasley twins, Fred and George, in their very traditional sweaters with their scarves from the house that they belong to at Hogwarts. And also new for this year is this piece, and I will plug it in for you so you can see it. This is, and I didn't know that this is what it was called. It's called the Burrow. And this is the Weasley house. That quirky little house that big Weasley family lives in. And of course, Harry spends a lot of time there, so it's a very important part of the storyline in several of the books. It almost looks like it's ready to fall over, but it's sturdily made and got lots and lots of detail. And you couldn't get this in porcelain because you just couldn't get the tight details, and the molds that they use for this are not a plastic mold. They are more of a rubber mold, and I don't. That's not quite the right word. I do have Rick Jackson trying to get me some of those so I can show you the difference between a porcelain mold and the molds that are used for this, and why this is so important to use for these kinds of pieces, because it really just does a better job of capturing what the artist is trying to show in these pieces. Isn't that a wonderful piece? I love it. Crazy as it is, I think I'd like to live there. Okay. And then the last piece for Harry Potter that I have is the animated piece that was introduced at the beginning of the year. We hadn't had a sample of it until now, and there it is. Okay, great. This is called Catching the Snitch, and Harry is on his broom trying to catch the snitch, and this is, of course, a representation of the top of the stadium where Quidditch is played in the yellow and burgundy colors. Just a real neat addition, and I could see you doing this up high on something so that it could be flying over the village. Really a neat piece. Okay. Okay. Something that's been very, very popular among collectors, let me grab this one here, has been what you're calling rehabbing. And rehabbing, you're taking pieces and you're repainting them to meet whatever needs you have. I saw one the other day that I thought was really quite wonderful. They had taken a piece from Christmas in the City that really does look like it belongs in New Orleans, and they painted it pink and white, and it really looked like a painted lady. And they were going to use it as a spring piece. So, you know, everything is only limited by your creativity. This is a piece that is a limited edition this year for North Pole. And I guess I'm thinking I'm not having it in the picture because there's some. But this is called the Bitsy Bungalows. There's 3 little bungalows here. And we decided to do some rehabbing. For the last couple of years, we have rehabbed a piece by having our sculptor artist, Kiri, repaint a piece to make it a one-of-a-kind, and then take it to our conventions that we attend. Well, that's not good. And we will be auctioning off this rehab. So here is the original, and here is the rehabbed version. And as you can see, the roof colors are different. The steps are quite a bit different in color. And this is a one-of-a-kind piece. Kiri even signed it on the bottom. Here's her signature right there. And some lucky collector at the Cincinnati Convention in June will take this home and have a very unique piece for their village. And the proceeds from that auction are going to go to one of the cancer societies. So we're very pleased about that we can participate in that and bring some pieces that are unique and can help support their charities. So we gave her carte blanche, and she said, well, what color do you want me to paint? I said, you do what you want with it, Curie. So she had fun with it. And she'd paint a little part of it, and she'd come over and she'd show me, and she said, well, what do you think? I said, well, what do you think, Curie? So Curie had a good time with that one. The last thing I wanted to mention is this is the regular brochure. People have asked about the mid-year brochures. The 2019 mid-year brochure will be, again, a flip brochure. It'll be Village on one side. You'll be able to flip it over, and it'll be Snow Babies on the other side. That brochure will be ready for you to get at your local retailers, or you can order it online and get it through us probably by the middle of June. So around the 15th of June, they will have that available for you to purchase. If you've got questions and comments about anything that we've talked about today, let us know. Otherwise, we hope you have a very happy and safe holiday weekend this weekend. Don't forget about our auction. And the next time we'll see you is June 6th, 4 p.m. Central Time. Bye.